I think, yeah, there we go.
Where's yours?
It's only you.
What, you don't get one?
Maybe I should have one. Eric, where's my drink? In here. I've got my...
Weathers is going to bring you back a tea at some point.
Oh, good boy.
I need the fizz, baby. That's the way you do it.
This wind will die down as the night goes on. Hopefully.
You think so? That is... Lee, this is West Beach. Although I don't know what it's like on this back. I didn't even know we had a back diamond.
Yeah, I know. I told James, I said, I'll get a taxi to bring Eric out there.
He didn't even know.
No, well.
I'm learning something new every time. No, I've been back here. Where's my bench? I have my Eric Ballnar Memorial Bench. Did you know that? There's a little label on it that says the Eric Ballnar Memorial Bench.
You can only have a memorial thing when you passed away.
That's not true.
You call that living?
I'm alive. Why can't people remember me when I'm alive?
Well, that's a very good point.
What do they have to say? Oh, Eric was a great guy. They can be like, Eric is a great guy.
I walked in with Ray Straps one day, and he said, this stand should be called the Lee Hull Memorial Stand. He said, hang about a minute, you're not dead yet. I said, you want me to do something about it?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be...
No.
All right, Emily Solomon, we saw her in the under-23s.
We did. She was the winning pitcher. It's interesting because the winning pitcher from the Stars in May is pitching against the winning pitcher of the 23s a couple of weeks ago. There's something, little tidbit for you, sir.
Who's pitching for us?
Johanna Grauer.
I was wondering if it would be a Hood.
Yeah. I just advised him about that. Only because I saw Weathers use it this morning. This will be a tough go, this game. This should be a cracker, I reckon.
I know, and the wind adds another nice element to it.
Yeah.
I like it. It makes it intriguing.
How'd that game finish up? New South.
They won 9-0. Stacey Porter hit a 3-run home run into the dog park over both the fences. Crushed. One of the bigger ones you'll ever see at that field. It was absolutely monster.
Are you surprised? No.
So you saw that Queensland Mercy WA?
You did, yep. Well,
Yep.
even watch the recap. Why?
Eric, can you hear yourself?
Yeah?
That you're live. Dude. In 3, 2, 1.
SA and Queensland, a crucial battle in the early stages of the 2023 Gilley Shield. SA on Diamond 2 for the first time this tournament. Queensland, second game here. They won 9-1 earlier today. Eric Ballnar, Lee Hull calling the action for you in what is probably the matchup I was looking most forward to, Lee, when I saw the scout calendar of games on day number 1.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call, Eric. This should be an absolute belter. I predicted a one-run win, but I'm not certain about who's going to win. So.
Emily Solomon, she just pitched in the under-23s, the grand final, was the winning pitcher in that game. Lee, you watched her, you called that game. She beat South Australia in that under-23 championship game. She's got the ball in her hand here.
Yeah, she's terrific, and she'll be coming up against the Stars winning pitcher in May for the 2022. Johanna Grau. So this
two national champion pitchers up there against each other.
And this will be a battle in itself.
SA, the defending champion. Amber Hood leads things off. One of the toughest outs in Australian softball. She takes a pitch that rides up on the inside. Hood in that leadoff role. There's been a couple changes in the SA lineup from what they had versus New South Wales, and you kind of expected an adjustment in that game as Amber Hood goes down on strikes. SA only had one hit in the game. Kaya Parnaby and Gabby Plain diced him up. Belle White, the only person that got on base. So the lineup is Amber Hood leading things off. Chelsea Robinson moves up in the lineup and will bat 2. Belinda White batting 3. Yo Grauer in the 4-hole. Georgia Hood at 5. That stays the same. Kaesler at 6. Haley Benithan gets her first game of the tournament. She's batting 7th. Steph Trzynski at 8. She can swing it pretty good, too. She's won 2 Kath Coral medals here. Then Jordan Harris moves from leadoff into the second leadoff spot, you can call it, at 9.
I don't think I've seen Jordan play down that low, like bat that low, but it's for a purpose. Get people on base down there.
Chelsea Robinson just finished playing in the Netherlands. Flares one off to the right field grass, gets a strike on her. Emily Solomon pitching after the next batter. Lee Ho will take you around the diamond for how Queensland line up. Queensland 1-0. They defeated Western Australia 9-1 in a game they scored runs early and often and just could kind of coast from there, to be honest.
Yep. They've got some good hitters, Queensland.
Queensland finished 4th in the tournament, or 5th in the tournament last year. 4th, sorry. They lost in the 3-4 game to Victoria. Hit over towards the right side of the diamond, scooped up by Soraya Hampson, 1 down. Lee, take us around the diamonds.
Yes, it's Emily Solomon pitching to Matisse Sorbello. At first, it's Jessica Rohde. Second, Soraya Hampson. Third is Dorinda Stone. Then Tamika Whitefield at shortstop. In the outfield, left to right, Rhiannon Kemp, Jade Wall, and Rina Tatsumi.
A few notable inclusions from this Queensland squad that were not present a year ago. Just like SA, who won the tournament, the SA thinks they've got better. Queensland thinks they've got better too. You had in some players like Jade Wall at center field.
And also, which I omitted to give you, their DP is Suzuka Yamani. She's batting for the pitcher, obviously.
Ball hit up the middle. Whitefield so calm, so cruisy, so easy. 1 out. That retires the side. 1-2-3 for SA. Well, Queensland will come to bat, and Lee, you mentioned those 2 names as we'll look through the lineup for Queensland. And at the top of it is Reina Tatsumi, and batting number 3 in the lineup after Tamika Whitefield bats 2 is Suzuki Yamane. And they've got 2 former professional softball players that played in Japan, 2 Japanese women. They weren't in this Queensland squad last year. One of them just came over 6 months ago and is now learning English and has integrated herself well in this Queensland side.
Fantastic.
But what that does is it provides a little bit of protection for that highly skilled Tamika Whitefield, who's at 2. Jade Wall, an Olympian, at 4. Rhiannon Kemp, another player around those. You figure she's going to be national team, and especially in the future, at 5. Dorinda Stone, just as tough as they come, at 6. And then the youngsters in Rohde, Matisse Sorbello at 8, and Soraya Hampson at 9. It's a very talented batting side for Queensland.
And that bats all the way down that side, doesn't it?
In the field, Lee, not too many changes except in the outfield for SA. So the infield the same, outfield is different. What are we looking at?
Outfield, you want the outfield or everything?
No, you tell us, Lee.
All right, well, it's Johanna Grau pitching to Belinda White. Georgia Hood is at first base. Jordan Harris at second. Lana Kaesler at third. And in the hole at shortstop, Chelsea Robinson. The outfield from left to right, Haley Benithan, Steph Trzynski, and Amber Hood. They have no DP.
So a mix in the outfield after SA struggled a little bit in the outfielder. There was an error to the center fielder, and one of the runs that was scored, a fly ball to left field that could have been caught that wasn't. Just a few outfielding mistakes that really did catch South Australia off guard a little bit. So they're mixing things up, trying to get a spark versus Queensland, just like they had to do in the tournament last year.
Yep.
Leading things off will be Reina Tatsumi, 28 years old. She used to play professionally in Japan, And then effectively she retired from softball a few years ago. Hadn't played in about 3 years. Then she came to Australia with some friends, including Suzuka, to study English. Turns up to club softball and now absolutely is smashing it. So I think for Queensland, probably an easy conversation for this leadoff woman in Reina Tatsumi to say, hey, do you want to play for us?
Yes, and where would you like to bat?
And powerful, as they say.
Yeah.
She's small in stature, big in bat, as Reina Tatsumi walks in. But she'll have an equal opposition in Joanna Grauer in the circle for the SA Stars. The ace of the SA staff last year helped lead South Australia to their first championship in 66 years.
Terrific pitching in the grand final, but also she brought in 3 runs. So, multi-talented.
Kills you in a couple different ways.
Yeah, she does.
Grauer, a former player at UCLA in the NCAA, a Division I player. Didn't just break a drought for the SA Stars nationally. Also was a key part in winning the first ever championship for Port Adelaide last year in the SA Premier League. Boy, this back diamond, it's windy out here today. Sort of a wind tunnel.
Yeah, it is. It just blows straight off the sea, off the whatever it is there.
Tatsumi steps in.
Hard batter to pitch to. Not a very big strike zone.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, not a big strike zone, and it's, you know, the Japanese softballers, they have a certain diligence about the way they go about business.
They certainly do. The power of Grau was on show then, though, wasn't it? That was quick.
Fouled back. Tough start to this lineup for Queensland. Kind of on paper, I think a lot of teams and people expecting New South Wales and South Australia probably the 1-2, but Queensland not that far behind on paper.
And that's what the left fielder's got to be aware of, made aware by that. Left-handed hitter there and the right-handed hitters, that ball's going to tail away. It did by a big margin then. So that's right. Hayley Benaithen now adjusts and goes to a position where she can catch that foul fly if it goes out there.
Steph Trzynski, who started game 1, is in center field. Pippa Adkins was there. Ball just hung up a little bit, but moving right to left field, right to Hayley Benaithen. Probably one of SA's top outfielders. They're trying to fill a gap, SA, with the absence of Maddie Cameron from this year's Stars team.
Big loss, Maddie Cameron.
Tamika Whitefield up to bat, and only 23 years old, Tamika Whitefield, but feels like she's been around for a long, long time.
Plays like a veteran, doesn't she?
I know one thing that Queensland were really looking forward to is seeing how Whitefield plays this tournament, knowing that she's got a couple superstars around her in the lineup. She doesn't have to be more than what she is, which is obviously a fantastic player, but she can just be herself. Both the Whitefields excellent players, and this popped right back. Easy play for Belle White. But you do get the sense that for both these teams, it's an early game that they want badly.
Yes, it is. It's started that way and it'll continue to go through there. I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. The win is against everything, really, against this fence, as we can feel it because of our papers.
Yeah, it's a constant breeze too. It's not that gusty. You have some gusts that hit up, but if you've watched the local Premier League and you're in South Australia, we don't stream the games on the back diamond, but anytime you come back here, especially on a Wednesday night, some weird things happen on this diamond.
They certainly do.
Fouled away. South Australia, they just need probably a win to avoid a pressure cooker game tonight against Victoria. Important to get some wins on the board early.
Yeah, the Vicks are going all right. Got some good players.
Up towards center field, and look how shallow that becomes. Gets held up in the wind. Charging on with Steph Trzynski, and standing on two is Suzuka Yamane.
See what the wind did to that ball.
Well, it was just like in the first game versus New South Wales. 2 easy outs, and then a ball kind of floated to the outfield. A bit of an error. Although that one was tough, because what do you do if you're Steph Trzynski? They're standing on the edge of the dirt. This is also a baseball diamond that they use, so it's kind of a shared.
Because you can see by the home run fence, the temporary home run fence for the softball. That just goes, of course, when they play baseball on it.
They don't play it on it often here, but for national tournaments,
Yep.
they certainly do. So Jade Wall, who had 3 ribbies in the first game for Queensland. What an insertion into the lineup Jade Wall is. Just a tremendous player. Another Olympian. Missed the last Gilley Shield, but so I said to the squad, don't worry, I'll be back, don't worry. Jammed up in the air, swirling though, having to move onto it is Chelsea Robinson. So South Australia get out of the inning, and it remains 0-0. And Lee, you're right, this does have the makings of what could be a bit of a pitcher's duel. So it's going to be who capitalizes off mistakes early on in this one, you feel like?
Yeah, the wind is going to play a big part. If it keeps up at this speed, it will play a big part. So when you're in the outfield, especially at centre field, if the ball is going to drop short, you've got a chance to dive for it, because you know it won't hurt you. The wind won't let it go past you on that short sort of hit, which we saw already, didn't we?
Scores earlier from the tournament. New South Wales defeated South Australia 7-0. WA, they walked off Victoria on a squeeze play to end the game to win that 6-5. Queensland defeated Western Australia 9-1 on the back diamond, and Victoria beat ACT 6-1 on diamond 1. New South Wales just beat ACT 9-0. So New South Wales, they go to bed with the 2-0 record before their triple header day tomorrow. Yo Grauer, the pitcher, leads things off. Knocks it foul.
I'll recognise the umpires for this game in a moment, Eric.
It's an intense tournament for a lot of players, and beyond that, also the umpires from all around the country flying in to make these tournaments happen. Grauer working against Emily Solomon. Solomon just finished that under-23 tournament. She was on the squad last year at the Open Women's, and she started to simplify her game and then really started to explode with that breakout tournament at the under-23s.
Umpires for this game on plate, it's Richard Barrow, first base Narelle Thomas, and at third base Steve Wallace-Yarrow.
Yo Grauer takes a pitch down low. Grauer, Hood, and Kaesler. I mean, SA's batting lineup can bat as well as anybody in this competition. When you look at it and you have Steph Trzynski, the 2-time Cap Coral medalist, batting in the 8-hole, and Jordan Harris at 9. Says a lot about
the depth.
And there's a smashing hit over to the right field side from Yo Grauer. So the first hit of the ball game, already they've equaled their hit total from game number 1, SA. And now a big bopper in Georgia. Hood can swing it.
Big, powerful girl, isn't she, Joanna? Throwing, pitching, batting, running. Does it all.
Hood coming back from playing some college softball at Pensacola, back for the holidays. Swings at the first pitch. It goes off Solomon, deflects right over to Soraya Hampson. So that's going to go down as a 1-4-3 out. But it does advance the runner and lead. That's probably job done for Georgia Hood.
I think so.
It allows Lana Kaesler to come to the plate, and Kaesler, someone that has just been clutch over the years. And in particular, last Open Women's State Tournament or National Tournament, the Gilley Shield here in May, she delivered in every moment asked of her.
She certainly did.
Plays with West Torrens locally. West Torrens, the local team that's been knocking on the door of a championship for a while. 5 straight years they've been right around the mix, but still haven't won one.
Is it going to be their year this year, 2023? We'll have to wait and see.
Solomon delivers one up high. Some of these SA batters will be familiar with Solomon just from facing her last year in the Open Women's, but mainly in the under 23s that happened a couple weeks ago. The woman on deck, Haley Benithan, would be one of those.
Yep. There's a few of them.
SA, for only the second time in this tournament, have a runner in scoring position, completely neutralized by New South Wales. Kaesler knocks one in towards the outfield. It drops in. It advances the runner to third. So Kaesler with her first hit of the tournament right up the middle. Runners on the corners.
623 under 23 players in the SA side.
Who are they?
Who are they?
There's 6 under 23 players in the Queensland side too.
Yeah. Well, you want me to name them?
Yeah, why not?
I will after this.
We'll do it in the break. It's a good innings break one.
I think it is.
Let's do it. Haley Benithan up to bat. Big moment in the game. Runners on first and third. Benithan was showing bunt and now caught in a rundown is Lana Kaesler, and the runner doesn't score. So now it's 2 outs. So that goes completely in Queensland's favor. Wow. You take a look at the replay there. They tried to steal second, trying to force the throw home from 3. It was an aggressive play, but Queensland right on it.
Got caught in the trap play. There was no play about it. It was just shortstop Whitefield just come and made the out herself.
So it's runners on first and third with 1 out. Now runner on third with no outs. And Haley Benithan needs to deliver a 2-out hit. Benithan, one of those key players of SA's under-23 team that lost to Queensland.
Very good, wasn't she? Finished up batting at leadoff. Tells you something.
Well, Benithan got that hit that kept the game going.
Yep.
Versus Emily Solomon when SA really needed it in the bottom of the 7th of that championship game.
Yep. That's pressure hitting.
So 2 outs on the board, runner on third. South Australia had the leadoff runner aboard. Pitch up high. Brings the count to 3-2. Fouled into herself. We've had some players run into a few awkward balls. Stacey McManus in the last game got absolutely crunched by a foul ball standing over at third. You can watch all the highlights, all the recaps, all the games thanks to Spacequake Sports and on the Softball SA page. Broadcasting every single one of these games. But Nathan, a good at bat. She's going to get to pitch number 7 here.
Gets her money's worth. That's what. It's all you can ask from your batter, isn't it? Really, just give it your best shot. Take as many pitches as you like.
Another player that's off playing college in the United States that's come back home for the holidays.
Kansas, I think.
Takes a pitch down low. Great at bat. And it could be a key early run. on offer here for South Australia. Benithan up the middle. Fumbled just a little bit by Whitefield across the diamond. Safe, the run scores. Jessica Rohde had to jump up.
Yeah.
And the throw was a little bit high, and I think you'll see on the replay that Benithan just got in there. I don't know if we have the shot over at first base. That's where it happened. Here's the throw, and you see that Rohde was just a little off the bag.
Yep. Lost contact with the bag.
And SA have struck first. It's 1-0. They'll breathe a sigh of relief after SA had runners on the corners and one out and then got stuck in a trap play. Brings up Steph Trzynski. Back-to-back Cath Coral medalist for the most outstanding player in South Australian softball, and that's not just because she's an elite pitcher. It was a lot to do with the bat.
Yep.
Trzynski right to third. Dorinda Stone scoops it up. And this time bringing it in is just at first base.
Very experienced player, Dorinda Stone. I remember her playing here in the under-19s, 2015.
Well, Lee, let's go through the under-23s that are in this game,
Right,
because they
I'll
just played each other again. But
I'll give you the South Australian ones if you like.
yeah, go for SA. I'll give you Queensland.
Okay, Georgia Hood, Hayley Benithan, Neve Adams, Taylor Chillingworth, Abby Jorgensen, and Sophie Roberts.
And a lot of those players as well were on the state team last year for South Australia. There's 10 returning players from the team that won the championship last year. Meanwhile, for Queensland, you have players like Emily Solomon, Jessica Rohde, Maddie McLeod, who has some experience there, Matisse Sorbello. And then not too long ago, a few years ago, Rhiannon Kemp was on that team. Taylor Sivanasiva, another young player, just 18 years old. Tamika Whitefield's only 23, and Zolly Summers, a late addition at 19. So those are a few of those. Not every single one of those players was on the under-23s, but a good chunk of them had played in the 23s.
Well, that's how you get to the Gilley Shield, by playing 23s, don't you? Your next step is the Gilley Shield.
Well, SA have a 1-0 lead. Rhiannon Kemp will lead things off for Queensland.
Number 5 hitter.
Kemp had kind of that quiet Gilley Shield last year, but then in the under-23, she won the batting title the week after in South Australia on the under-23 team last year. She was one of the under-23 players that was invited to go to Canada for the Canada Cup.
Right.
One of the starters, just a big power hitter, so getting more experience on the national team level, but it really was because of just an absolutely fantastic tournament where she smashed the ball left, right, and center. On this diamond, too. Now batting number 5 in the lineup with some talented players around her, a real chance for her to launch herself. Launched in the air, swirling a little bit in the wind. Benithan gets called off by Chelsea Robinson at the edge of the infield. And it's another one down.
Wind, difficult, isn't it? Difficult playing conditions when the ball's in the air on this diamond.
Dorinda Stone. Just fouled away. Stone had a bit of an awkward tournament last year. She was hurt right before the tournament, injured her knee. But she still was the leadoff batter for that team and was in the top 3 on the squad in averages. And Now you can drop Stone probably to a more natural position, down at 6.
Yeah,
Now
she's still very young. She's, what, 25, I reckon?
Yeah, and she's been on this team for 6-7 years now.
Yep.
So you just figured that Stone, now that she's got that full preparation in the lead up to this tournament under her belt, you just think that she can launch herself as well. Check swing, Grauer. Grauer's Achilles heel in the local competition has been walks. When she gets the walks under control, she's as good as they come, and it's a nice start for her so far, getting ahead in counts.
Yep.
UCLA Bruin was on the American Junior National Team that won a World Championship and now resides in South Australia. She's been here for 4 years. Fouled away. And just an infectious softball personality.
Certainly is. Probably end up I nearly said a Canadian.
A citizen?
Citizen, yeah. An Australian citizen, I think. She loves it here in Australia.
She's a permanent
South Australia
resident.
especially.
Yeah. Loves the Riverland. That ball slips away.
Bit like yourself, sir. Man from Canada.
An Aussie now, Aussie Eric.
An Aussie is, yeah, Aussie Eric. It's got a good ring to it.
Aussie Eric, yeah, it does. Queensland, a really impressive first game. They hit top to bottom in the lineup, putting 9 runs on the board, a lot of them early versus WA. Need to respond here, though. Fouled away. Good plucky at bat from Dorinda Stone.
Yep. Get your money's worth, Eric, isn't it? It's just staying in there. Just say to the pitcher every time you foul it off, yes, the next one's going to have my name on it.
Pitch up high and just gutsy to lay off the pitch and work the count back to full.
That's twice now she's just laid off, hasn't she, at the last minute? Disciplined batting. That comes with experience, like you mentioned. How many years she's been at this level?
Inside and a base runner for Queensland.
Great turn at bat, wasn't it?
Went behind early and laid off some pitches that were close to the zone. I'm not too sure Yo missed. It was just Stone laying off. Jess Rhodey. Everyone's been very complimentary of her batting ability. We haven't quite seen it at the national level yet, but you feel like she's a tournament away or just a string of hits from exploding. Runner was thinking about going. Good job from Belle White.
I think that's just the offense just testing out what the fielders at first and third are doing.
Trying to test the arm of Belle White potentially at some point.
Well, good luck.
Fouled back. Couple strikes on Jessica Rhodey. Swing and a miss, a strikeout from Yo Grauer. That's her first one of the day.
It was up, wasn't it? And Jess into it.
It's that rise ball. It's when Grauer starts mixing in that changeup and the drop ball that it becomes almost impossible for her to hit. But she needs that catcher that's behind the plate to really feel confident with it.
Well, you wouldn't get a more confident catcher than Belle White.
Well, Matisse Sarbello, she caught at the under-23s last week or 2 weeks ago.
Very good, wasn't she?
Yeah, just framing.
Impressive.
Yeah, Coach Jenkins kind of described her as a person who just takes care of the pitching staff, which is probably a good quality to have if you're a pitcher.
A catcher even? Yeah.
A catcher? Yeah, sure. Just a presence behind the plate. Probably big things in her future for
Yep.
Matisse Sarbello.
The right fielder Amber Hood went across, but for this sort of diamond, you need to go across and come in, because the ball she'll get extra bases otherwise if it gets far by. It's going to be hard to get a fistful of runs here, isn't it, Eric? That wind just gaining momentum.
Extra base hits are going to be hard to come by. It's almost the flatten the swing and just get it to the outfield and let the base running do the talking. Swing and a miss.
Similar pitch, wasn't it, that got to Jessica?
Back-to-back strikeouts from Yo Grauer. He leads SA. Got a 1-0 lead, rather. Haley Benathan's shot has provided that lead for SA. And just as we expected, it doesn't really feel like there's much between these teams at all.
No, it's got the hallmark of being a really tight go.
Couple games on at this time. I'll go try to get an update for everybody on what's happening on Diamond 1, but you can do exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to the Softball SA page and, looking at all the great games that are being covered. I think the next game maybe starts at 6 o'clock. The game, I think, does start at 6 o'clock. Jordan Harris leads things off. It's a position that she's comfortable with, Jordan Harris. Look, SA, a few years ago, they struggled to win a game at the Open Women's Championships. They built the program sort of from the ground up into being the current national champions. And Jordy Harris was such a key part of that whole experience of SA moving on up the ranks. Yep. Wasn't part of the team last year on the field, very much part of it off the field. And I know she was chomping at the bit to get back on the field playing at this level. Harris along the ground, knocks it foul.
Huge leg speed, hadn't she, Geordie? These sort of players, you bat them at 9 and they get on base, then you've got the top of the lineup. You can do many different tricks with that for somebody with leg speed.
Ooh. Those are the kind of hits, though, I know that was foul, that are going to get it done on a day like today.
Hitting them in the play is the next thing, difficult thing.
Hard, flat, firm. Takes a pitch inside.
Patience. That's what you need, don't you? On a day like today with the wind like it is, patient batting.
Now, this has turned into a good at-bat. She fell behind 0-2 early, but worked her way back into it here. Two count, working against Solomon.
Evens it up. You love that as a coach, Eric, don't you? You just love it when your batters are really thinking about getting the most out of this turn at bat.
Making the pitchers work.
Yeah, that's it.
Even that does the trick. Keeps the at-bat alive, lets her survive another pitch. Harris on the ground, picked up by Stone, over towards first. She's quick down the line, Jordan Harris. Not quick enough, though. One down. Back to the top of the lineup for Amber Hood. We'll see what kind of adjustments SA make. Their second time through facing Emily Sullivan. You can hear that wind howling. Look at the camera shake. The sweaters the girls are wearing. Could be cold down here tonight, Lee.
Will be cold. I wouldn't want to be on this dimer at 8 o'clock. Oh, sorry, I am. Got my winter gear with me though, Eric, so.
I'll be in the tropics over at Diamond 1 for the late game between SA.
Well, it seemed like the tropics compared with here.
Yeah, I'll follow SA over there. Hood goes chasing. She struck out in her first at-bat versus Emily Sullivan. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts now for Amber Hood. That's both those Sullivan strikeouts on the day. Chelsea Robinson, not much to work with on the bases, but the 2-3-4 part in the lineup coming up for SA.
Start again here, don't you? Come in the bat now with 2 down. You're the lead-off. Count yourself the lead-off.
It's a good-looking swing from Chelsea Robinson, isn't it?
Yep, yep. Flat, level swing.
She went away with that Aussie team to Tokyo. It was part of the selection process, at least, for that Olympic team. So close. Up the middle again. Tamika Whitefield scoops, fires, side retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Emily Sullivan and the Queensland Heat.
Interesting, isn't it? 3 hits for South Australia, 2 K2s, 6 groundouts. Hard to get the ball out of the infield, Eric.
Yeah, it's a day where runs are going to be scored at playing small ball, and that's sort of how it happened for South Australia.
They'll be at a minimum, the runs.
Haley Benithan drove in the run, but it was because the runner at first base was off the bag, and there's a look at the dogs at the ballpark, Lee. Lovely afternoon for it. We're going to have some great softball watching weather, I think, the next couple days, aren't we?
We certainly are. We've been very blessed with the weather, both the under 23s and here.
Belinda White.
Good player to start with this innings. It's the DP. Correction, it's not
Nope.
the DP, it's
Soraya
Soraya.
Hampson.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked like
The ninth
Suzuka.
batter.
Suzuka.
Reina Tatsumi and Tamika Whitefield also due up. Suzuka Yamane has a double in this game. That's the only hit that Queensland have so far.
This girl's a good player, isn't she, Soraya?
That's the third straight strikeout now for Yo Grauer, who's going very well.
Only given up one hit so far.
I was very wrong. For some reason, I thought there was another game on today, Lee, going on right now on the main diamond, but there isn't.
Just this is a sole game on, I think.
And this is the sole game on. All the attention on us. 2 games on tonight, though. SA Victoria, they'll walk over there. And then Queensland ACT. So it's SA and ACT getting in the triple header, as well as Queensland and Victoria. All those teams rounding out. Nub down in front of him. Play over to the right. Called safe. How's the speed?
Oh, yeah.
From Reina Tatsumi. An infield hit. That was close over at first. Jordan Harris took it away.
Bell was on it very quickly. Good throw, but its leg speed just beat him.
Rocket down the line.
Yep.
So it's a base runner for Tamika Whitefield. Takes the first pitch.
You might be inclined to send her here. You know,
just with the speed?
For speed, and the catcher throwing the ball into the wind. No need to hit and run.
Tough play from Chelsea Robinson at short, a little bit off balance. And now SA are under the most amount of pressure they've been with that infield hit. I think Tamika Whitefield would have got there. Look, in the wind, this sort of suits. Yeah, she would have been safe even if that throw was on the money, I think. Having to go away from her body. Suzuka Yamane. First pitch swing, chopped over to first. It could be a double play. She just steps on the bag in time. She's saying she was safe at first. We'll get a look at the replay. Harris maybe just overshot the bag. Here it is, a look here. She stepped, that's, oh, did she step on the white part of the, did she step on the white part of the bag there? I think.
Second step, wasn't it?
Yeah, but look here, look. So she didn't step on it here, but did she get there?
Oh,
I don't know.
It's a toss-up, isn't it? It's a toss-up.
Very close play.
Judgment.
Either way, the runners will stay at first and second, and now at least there's 2 outs on the board. That would have ended the inning. Needed to get to that little part on the white. That was close. I don't think she touched that bag, did she?
No, I don't think she did. Well, that's the ruling, I would have thought.
It's the white she needs to touch, right? Cracking shot down the line. It's going to score 1 run. It might score 2. Getting the wave around. The relay coming in. There won't be a play at the plate. It's a 2 RBI double from Jade Wall.
See what I mean about how the ball tails away over there at left field?
3 RBIs in game number 1, and Jade Wall has just put Queensland up by 1.
Gee, it was a great shot, wasn't it?
It kept tailing away. And Tamika Whitefield, who can fly, got home easily. So 2 infield hits from Queensland. Gets them aboard, and then they score a couple runs. Brings up Rhiannon Kemp. That's exactly how runs will be scored in this game. Here in the bottom of the third inning. Up the middle, Grauer makes the play, and that will do it for the third inning.
First pitch.
On the first pitch. So South Australia scored a run in the top of the second, but Queensland took a few outs to do it, but they finally get there by hits to Tatsumi, Whitefield, and Jade Wall. Impressive.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Well, Adelaide, though, or South Australia, I keep calling them Adelaide, although I guess it is sort of where they play. But White, Grauer, and Hood, the middle of the lineup, will be due up. White was the only player that was able to get on base versus New South Wales. She had that double and then the walk. Few people catching the game from the outside part of the field.
3 safe hits each team at the moment.
Queensland just making them count that little bit more.
Yep.
Oh, here's Bell White. Jade Wall now with 5 RBIs.
It's a player. She's a player.
He's a difference-making player. Those were probably those moments that Queensland were just missing last year with 2 outs. Didn't really take advantage of when they had runners on scoring position as much as they have in this tournament. And getting players like Wall back in the lineup make a big difference.
Yep.
White drops down the bunt. Was hoping it would spin on back. Certainly is a bit of a small ball game, isn't it?
Yeah. You put the ball in the air, it's not going to go too deep to the outfield. That one along the line, it was down, it was on the ground, it was going, but it was still tailing.
White to right field, drifting in the wind. It'll be held up just a little bit and into the glove of Reina Tatsumi. 1 down.
Good piece of the ball, though.
Tatsumi tracked that well.
Yep.
Grauer, she singled and scored in the second inning to put SA up 1-0 at the time. Grauer, deep, left field, back,
Real
wall,
deep.
and in front of the wall. Grauer will stand up at second. Would have been a home run almost any other time. That ball was crushed, smashed off the wall.
It's the power of Grauer again on display.
It broke the fence.
How hard did she hit that into that wind? It's more like a gale than a wind.
She wasted no time, Yo Grauer. Beautiful launch angle right over the head of Rhiannon Kemp. That would have been a fantastic play. She almost made it.
Yep.
Puts a runner in scoring position for Georgia Hood. She had a hard hit ball that deflected off the pitcher right to second base last time. Hood with just some video game numbers with the bat. And Pensacola at college right now. He's one of the players of the year.
Can hit a long ball, George.
SA batters 2 in a row. White and Grauer got a good piece. This up the middle again, and it gets through. Grauer trying to push it to 3. That one just got by Whitefield, who was ranging to her left. And Adelaide, or South Australia rather, have runners on the corner with Lana Kaesler up to bat. And only 1 out. So a ball to the outfield should tie this game.
5 hits now for the SA team.
Yeah, much better than the 1 they had versus New South Wales. Reaching the midway point of this game. Queensland 1-0, SA 0-1. SA trying to avoid an early hole. SA also trying to avoid losing to the two teams that probably are pegged as some good challengers to take the title from them.
Yeah, this is why you have a good turn at bat here, because the defense is under pressure here. Just keep them under.
Kaesler knocks it foul.
Only one down.
Big moment in this game. You can feel it.
Yeah. It's you can sense something's going to happen on this pitch, I reckon.
Both teams have to back it up and play later on, so pitching certainly an equation that these managers have to work through. Hitters count for Lana Kaesler. It's a walk.
Good batting.
Hailey Benaithen, who has the RBI in inning number 2, steps up in a huge spot now for Queensland. Bases are juiced. Queensland delivered a 2-out, 2 RBI double in their last turn up to bat. SA trying to deliver a moment of their own when the opportunity has poked up for them. Benaithen, a good swing. She wanted it on that one.
Yeah, she did. Waiting for your pitch, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
A pressure moment for a young pitcher, Emily Solomon, who just won a national championship at the under-23s. This is a bit of a different step up, under-23s to the senior level. Benaithen at the middle, a great diving opportunity. It scored 1 run, it might score 2. Getting the wave around his hood, and it is all of a sudden a 3-2 South Australia lead. Hailey Benaithen 3, Queensland 2. And it's the finest of margins, isn't it, Lee? Just like her first RBI from the runner off the bag. This was a great effort. And some good running from Georgia Hood at 2. And SA keeps the train rolling, and they'll still have an opportunity to score. They've got runners at first and second with only 1 out, and the powerful Steph Trzynski due up.
Yeah. It's a good inning so far. Try to keep it going here.
Some wild stuff to start this game. Very entertaining. SA struck first. They were up 1-0 in the second. Queensland responded with 2 runs in the third. SA now with 2 runs in the fourth. These teams trading some early shots. Trzynski up the middle, gets the lead runner, double play, yes sir! Hampson to Whitefield to Rhodey, and Queensland get out of a jam, limit the damage to 2, and a big time double play.
First pitch.
And SA were threatening for more, and now Queensland can try to take some momentum themselves. And there has been a defensive change, so Jordan Harris out of the game. Pippa Adkins into the game. Looks like is that Amber Hood that's moved to second base?
Yep.
And Pippa Adkins
goes to right
field. So a couple changes in this game. You see the outfield running out there. But what a game we have on our hands so far. Not much between these teams at all. This is a chance for both these teams to really launch themselves into this tournament at Gilley's. Still early days, but SA certainly don't want to be one of two winless teams heading into the final game tonight. Trying to work themselves out of a bit of a hole. Everything's still in front of both these teams. Can't win the tournament on day one, but you can certainly make it more difficult for yourself. Dorinda Stone will lead things off for Queensland. Got a walk the first time she was up to bat. So the new look SA infield. Kaesler at third, Robinson at short, Hood at second, and Georgia Hood at first. The Hood sisters from Mount Gambier.
The Hills top Hoods. When they played, they both played for the Hills Heat.
Grauer first pitch down low. Takes the strike. Question in League 2 is when will teams start to mix things up with their pitchers? Both teams have 4 pitchers they can go with. Both teams have another game to go today. South Australia, this is the 3rd pitcher they've used on the day. They used Jasinski and Hood in game number 1. Brooke McNamara was absolutely sensational for Queensland in game number 1, but they've got players like Sandy Holden still to come out, Zolly Summers potentially. Let the depth of each team be tested. Knocked over towards shortstop, easy play for Chelsea Robinson. Jessica Rhodey. Struck out swinging. It was the first of a series of strikeouts that Yo Grauer had. She retired the 7, 8, 9 part of the lineup down in strikes. Those are her 3 strikeouts for the day. And it's a first pitch swing and a much better turn at bat that puts her over on first base with 1 out for Queensland. Jess Rode stands on first base. Matisse Sorbello. Now, Rode and Sorbello, that catching combination of the under-23s. They've won a couple national championships now, just showing how bright that future is for Queensland.
Yeah, certainly.
And how much confidence they have going with 2 young catchers in their stocks behind the dish. Strike up in the middle.
The first thought was the right one, wasn't it? As it turned out, Matisse was going to swing, changed their mind. It was a strike.
Fouled away, stays alive. Soraya Hampson due up after. Another one of those players, you know, won 2 under-23s, one of the 18s. This core group of Queenslanders that are helping revitalize this softball program.
Yep.
They have won 6 national championships this century since 2000. New South Wales lead the way with 12. They've certainly always been one of those teams to beat in the factor at all of these tournaments. And their 18s, their 23s, winning a bunch of championships lately. Trying to keep the runner off the bag.
Keeping them honest.
Matisse Sorbella lifted in the air. Should be playable at center field for Trzynski, and it is 2 down. Now, both these teams are about to switch the lineup cards over for the 3rd time today. Is that when you pull the trigger on the change?
Well, you'd think about it, wouldn't you?
We've seen it a couple times, though. SA changed that over when they wanted to face New South Wales for the 3rd time, and the new pitcher got smashed. New South Wales mercied them. Then in that game for the ACT, same sort of thing. When they made the pitching change, that's where the runs came.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, though, is there?
If your pitchers are going well, though, sometimes it might be best just to hold the course.
Decisions you have to make. That's why you're the coach, I would have thought.
Soraya Hampson.
If you can't make things happen, at least try to make something happen when the game is a stalemate, you know.
And Jess Rhodes stands now on second base, so a runner in scoring position, the tying run for Soraya Hampson, one of the heart and souls, if you talk to the Queensland folks, of this squad. Keeps everything lighthearted and fun. He's just one of those players that just knows how to win in this young Queensland core. Down the line. Played but foul. It'll just go down as a strike. Might be thankful for SA too. I don't think she would have had that out.
No, it was a chopper shot, wasn't it, into the deck. Not much you can do about it when the ball's sitting up in the air. You have to wait for it to come down.
Hampson down the line again. Kaesler quick smart to it.
Persisting, isn't she, Soraya?
Kaesler made a couple spectacular plays over at third base. You got to check out those highlights on the Softball SA page. Great diving stop, Lana Kaesler. Hampson again. Lays off the pitch, trying to run over at third. How's Lana Kaesler diving back to make a catch that, if she did it, that could have easily found its way into the outfield and the tying run. Look at this. Lee, how many dangerous plays at third base have you seen today of this diamond already?
We saw at least 3, if not 4, this morning's game, 10 o'clock game. And you're throwing it into the really strong wind.
Soraya Hampson has worked her way back to a full count. And Jess Rhodes, with some aggressive base running, has found her way during this at-bat from first to third. An aggressive approach here from Queensland, who took the lead in the third and lost it in the fourth. Now looking to at least draw back level. Huge pitch coming here for Yo Grauer. Strikeout for Grauer. Her 4th of the day. That's the biggest one yet. It strands the Queensland runner over at third base. And Haley Benithan's 2 RBIs in the last inning for SA, still proving to be the difference maker. It's South Australia leading Queensland by a score of 3-2 as we head to the final 3 innings, Lee Hull.
Yes, it was always going to be a game like this, wasn't it? People asked me coming here, what do you think the result will be? I said, well, I don't know who's going to win because I'm not that clairvoyant. But I said there'll be 1 run the difference in the game.
Even
it's shaping that way.
How close was the under-23s championship? It was a 2-run game, but it came down to 1 moment, a base hit there from Brooks Stewart that drove in a couple runs.
Yeah.
These teams, whenever they play, there seems to be nothing really between them.
No, they just bring out the best in each other, you would say.
So Pippa Adkins will lead things off for SA. She was the substitution for Jordan Harris at the start of the 4th inning. Emily Sullivan still in the game, and then SA will turn things over for the third time. And if you look down the far left field line in front of the scoreboard there, Lee, look what you see down in the bullpen for Queensland.
Zali, is it?
Couple, yeah, it looks like Zolly Summers, I think, from this distance.
Well, it's a fair way away. I'm taking a punt here, Eric.
You have a 50-50 shot, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
No, I think I see 27 down there, to be honest. Ball into foul territory, slips away. I mean, the 19-year-old Zolly Summers warming up in the bullpen. Pippa Adkins trained with the Queensland team.
All right.
She lives in Queensland right now.
Yes, she does.
She was playing all the exhibition and warm-up games versus the Queensland state team, training with a lot of these players playing at that level. I was sort of surprised not to see her in the lineup to start the game versus Queensland, given her familiarity with them.
Yep.
But on the other hand, at least Queensland would be familiar with her up to bat. But
same horse, different jockey, isn't it?
Exactly. Adkins was the Young Player of the Year in the SA Premier League a few years ago. Swing and a miss, down on strikes. Emily Solomon has 3 on the day. 2 of them have come against this next batter, Amber Hood. And Amber Hood doesn't strike out very often. We've seen her strike out 3 times on the day, 2 in this game.
Well, she won't strike out for a third time. You can quote me on that, Eric. Bold statement. Odds are against me.
Showing bunt. She's got some speed. I don't mind that.
And that's what she's thinking about. If I can just get the ball in the play and run, use my leg speed, might be the difference.
South Australia's 1 to 3 hitters are 0 for 6 combined. Their 8-9 hitters are 0 for 4 combined. So from batters 1 to 3 and 8 to 9, those 5 right there, South Australia is 0 for 10 on the game. However, that middle part of the lineup of Grauer, Hood, Kaesler, and Benithan only once has a batter not reached. So out of the 8 plate appearances, 7 times they've been on base, and that's where all 3 runs have scored.
And that's telling you something, isn't it? It tells you exactly what's happened in this game.
It was the 2 RBIs from Haley Benithan in the 4th that put SA in front. Up the middle, Whitefield, Road, 2 down. Chelsea Robinson just got back from playing a professional stint in the Netherlands. She flew to the Netherlands the day after SA won the Gilley Shield.
Oh, okay.
The very next morning, she was on the plane off to the Netherlands.
She'd have been tired.
Cracking shot down the line, and it just hooks. Foul.
Operative word, hooks.
Robinson's been an elite catcher in the Premier League competition with Walkerville, helped guide them to a couple championships. Now can also play in the field at shortstop. Very versatile player and sort of a natural leader that people really do gravitate and work with. Check swing. She called down on strikes. You can see right behind her a look at another 2 of SA's better players, and Maddie Scott and Millie Fidge, both university players. Fidge back for the holiday. She was the one that pitched the winning pitch.
She did.
Versus New South Wales last year. Dribbled down the first base line, easy play. And it's a ground out, so a 1-2-3 inning for South Australia. A game that's seen a couple lead changes already. Benithan drove in the first run, 1-0. Queensland responded with 2 runs off the bat of Jade Walt, and Benithan again responded 3-2. You could literally say it's Benithan 3, Wall 2 in this game.
I think that's fair comment.
And this is the interesting part of the lineup now for Queensland. I mean, Yo Grauer still going out there, and I think why would you mix anything up at this point? But Reina Tatsumi and Tamika Whitefield lead off the inning, and they're the ones that provided that damage in the last time they were up to bat in the third. And they were both infield hits. Tatsumi and Whitefield both used their legs, got aboard, and then all they needed was someone to poke it to the outfield to manufacture a couple runs. That's the danger right now. It's not a power game on this backfield in these conditions.
No. All the damage has been done with the ball on the deck so far.
We certainly appreciate everybody from around the world watching this game. If you're in Japan, give us a little comment as well. Maybe you're here watching Reina and Suzuka. Fantastic of Space Quake Sports. To provide all the coverage of this national tournament. You can watch all the little mini recaps, the big plays. I think maybe tonight, maybe we'll have a little Sports Center kind of update with all of the recaps merged into one little video. I'll be singing the Sports Center theme song. Na-na-na, na-na-na. Reina Tatsumi leads things off. The infield single. You can watch all the highlights on the Softball SA page. I'm looking at our producer now. Are they on YouTube, all the highlights, the clips and stuff? Just Facebook, where all those recaps are. This Sports Center recap, though, that'll be on YouTube. It'll be probably a 15-minute video with all the highlights of the games. You can just sit on your couch, send it to your friends, and say, here's what's happened in day one of the Gilley Shield, and be totally up to bat.
I reckon a running bunt here would be the thing after that.
Tatsumi, I mean, she's got that infield power and just that slappy lefty.
Yeah.
Tatsumi, one of the two Japanese professional players that are on this team. Just passed her English assessment before heading here.
Coach has just brought Steph Stravinsky in a few paces, centre field.
Hard working at bat here. She's been on the 0-2 count for a while and now just fouling a few away. Tatsumi lays off it. Three of Queensland's 5 hits came in that third inning. Tatsumi, Whitefield, and then Jade Wall had that knockout punch. SA would be hoping they can limit the amount of times they have to see this part of the Queensland lineup as we work to the later stages of the game.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
How'd that ball stay up there? Ball up high. Now she's worked her way back in the count quite nicely, Reina Tatsumi. Got a couple balls on her now. Hey, look at the ground that's being dug up from the players digging in there on the release point. Knocked again, foul. All of a sudden, this has turned into a 6-7 pitch at bat. She fell behind 0-2 early, and Tatsumi trying to shift those odds more in her favor.
Well, Hayley Benoit in the left field's in a good position here, I reckon.
In?
Yeah, in. and nearer the line. And of course, it depends a lot on what Yo throws, what pitch he throws.
Knocked into shortstop territory. Chelsea Robinson makes the play, a lengthy at bat. Eventually won by the SA Stars. Takes a lot of speed off the bases. Someone with even more speed, Tamika Whitefield. Oh, just a family of athletes. Tamika's brother, Aaron, plays in the Australian Baseball League. He's Australia's starting center fielder. He's a big leaguer. He's played in the big leagues. Played in the big leagues this year.
Okay. Impressive. Very impressive.
An athletic family. And the Whitefields, both of them, just take the game on full steam ahead. Hard hit ball up the middle, and Whitefield, she's got some speed and will be on the base pass for a powerful hitter.
Gee, that was a good shot into that breeze, wasn't it?
Whitefield's second hit of the day. And that'll bring up the DP.
You can tell what the wind, what it's doing. Everybody watching it can see it. But Chelsea Robinson's had 4 little pop flies. It's shortstop.
Suzuka Yamane used to be a professional Japanese player. Came to Australia just a couple years ago. This could have been her 3rd Gilley Shield, but the Gilleys from a couple years ago was canceled due to COVID. And then she pulled out right before the last tournament because she had to fly back in literally the last minute to go back to Japan for a bit of a family emergency. But now she's here. She's been in the squad for about 2.5 years, so people in Queensland very familiar with her, but she sort of introduces herself on the national stage now.
Yep.
Played with Denzo. Remember Denzo that came over here?
I remember how hot it was that time they were here. Wasn't it searing heat? I think it was about 42, 43 degrees.
That was tough. That was tough.
It was tough for all participants. Umpires, they were really struggling. Just with the heat. They were terrific, Denzo, weren't they? So obliging. Terrific manners. Really impressive. And their softball was terrific as well.
Yamane already with a double in this game, and then she lined one opposite field to second in one that was almost a base hit. So she's seen the ball well. Off to Kaesler. Easy play for Kaesler across the diamond. It'll be a fielder's choice. Oh, no, it won't. It'll just be a 5-3 putout, and Tamika Whitefield will advance to second. But there is a runner in scoring position for one of the hottest bats in the tournament in Jade Wall. Had that huge monster shot in game number 1 today, and then had the double that cashed in Tatsumi and Whitefield to put Queensland up 2-1 at the time in this game. Runner is going. Play over at third, and it's a good throw from White. A better tag from Kaesler, and SA are out of the inning. SA defense coming up big time. To Queensland's credit, they're taking the game on, aren't they?
They are. They're trying to make something happen.
And that's how they generated their first 2 runs of the game. But a runner in scoring position and a fast runner taken off the base paths, and SA get out of the inning fairly quickly. Belinda White, Yo Grauer, and Georgia Hood will lead things off in this inning, and that's the exact combination. This exact part of the lineup was the one that started the 4th inning for South Australia, where they scored 2 runs. There is a pitching change now, and as expected, it's Zolly Summers. She pitched the semifinals at the under-23s. She was the pitcher of the tournament.
Yes, she was.
She replaced Laura Coulter, who pulled out kind of last minute, and by all reports, she was very unlucky to kind of miss out on the original Gilley Shield selection, but she got her name called after a couple injuries came down, and now Summers, just a crucial part of the lineup to try to hold and give her bats a chance to do some damage. She has to work through the Olympian Belle White, the NCAA champion and Kath Coral medalist, Joanna Grauer. And then Georgia Hood, the powerful bat. She'll come in probably for the last 2 innings of this game. If this game is tied, Lee, we'll play more.
Yep.
We'll play till we have a result. With the wind swirling here at the backfield on Diamond Sports here at South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. Takes a pitch inside. What a great experience now for Summers. Really good opportunity to see how she goes at the next level up. It is a big step up, Lee, when you're going to the under 23s, and now you have to face Olympians, 4 years, college pros.
Certainly is there. But that's a challenge in itself, isn't it? And that's what makes you a better player and a better person, I would have thought.
White seeing the ball well. She had that double in game number 1 today, grounded out to shortstop, and then a big fly out to opposite field. And White up the middle, and that's right off of Summers. That's going to sting a bit. That was a hard hit shot up the middle, and we'll have to check to make sure she's okay. Shot right up the middle. Oof, that'll sting. And coming out there to take a look is, I'm going to say, the best sports physio in Australia, Steve Frasca.
Okay.
He's from Adelaide. He's from South Australia. Mind and movement physio is what he works for, and over at that Peak Gym. Was that off the head?
Oh.
I thought it was off the shoulder. My goodness. So that's Steve Frasca. He was the physio in the ice hockey for the Adelaide Extreme. They ended up winning the championship. He was the physio for one of the local soccer teams here. They won the state championship. He was the physio for the Adelaide Avalanche. They won the championship. Oh, that's off the head. Oh, that is... Oh. That is one of the scary moments.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be running through all the protocols. They're having a discussion with her now. There's Steve having a discussion with Zolly. That is a tough first at bat. At least she's smiling and laughing. That is a great sign. But then Steve was the physio for Queensland last week when they won the under 23. So he's been part of 5 teams in 2022. He won a championship in all of them.
Well, he's got to lift his game, doesn't he? That's fantastic, isn't it? 5 out of 5. You can't challenge that. Knows his stuff, obviously.
So a big shout out to Steve Frasca. But Zolly just taking a moment. And Belle White, I mean, she hit the ball well. It just... I thought it was off her shoulder from this angle, to be totally honestly. I think a lot of people did too.
Yep.
And it was only the people kind of around the screens that were looking at the replays here where those oohs happened. It was right off the head. Summers a tough customer. She was brilliant in the under 23s.
Oh, it certainly was. Player of the tournament, pitcher of the tournament, correction, tells its own story.
Everybody giving her a little bit of love, but I think she's going to be okay. That is great to see. She might have a bit of a bump on her head, though, tomorrow. How's that intimidating? Your first at-bat? That'll be a story to tell. What'd you do in your first at-bat at the open women's level?
Yeah.
Straight up the middle off from an Olympian's bat. You want a Grauer.
Doesn't get any easier for her here, though, Zolly.
How good's Grauer being in the circle, and with the bat, she's got a single, a double, and she's scored 2 runs.
Hits the ball so hard. We saw how long the ball went. You know, how deep it went.
You're right. It was double off the wall. That would have been a home run most of the other time. The wind's picked up even since then. Gusts around that 30, 40K. That's like a golf shot down low. Grauer gets tagged out, does advance the runner. That is going to look like one of the world's most awkward bunts you'll see. Look at this on the Easton replay. So Summers has her first out. Georgia Hood had the single to short. Also was out 1-4-3 on a hard hit ball that was right back at the pitcher, but it just deflected to Soraya Hampson over at second. A crucial insurance run for South Australia in scoring position. Barely anything between these teams. And Lee, again, the middle of the lineup just going to work for SA.
Hit the centre field last turn at bat, Georgia.
Just got through a diving Whitefield. There's been a couple hits in this game that have gone past a diving Tamika Whitefield. That just shows how close the margins have been in this game.
Yep.
That 2-run fourth inning for South Australia, the go-ahead inning at the moment. And it's a walk. Runners on first and second for Lana Kaesler. She's walked and singled in this game. Kaesler getting the sign from Coach Bill Benedictson from Maple Ridge in British Columbia, Canada.
Nice place, British Columbia, isn't it? I think Vancouver's my favourite.
Good spot.
It's a lovely place. But counteracting that, also my second favourite place in America, in those sort of areas, is
Guelph.
Tijuana, Mexico.
Oh, not Guelph, Ontario, Canada?
No.
Why not?
Is that where you come from?
It is.
I just plucked that out of the air, didn't I?
Kaesler got caught in the rundown in the second inning. School teacher by trade, outdoor ed. She specializes in. She'd be a fun teacher to have, Lana Kaesler.
Oh, yeah. Be a lot of laughs as well as hard work.
Kind of embodies that SA Stars spirit. A lot of laughs, but work hard. Chops it foul. In the dirt. Now this is a momentum inning. South Australia can cash in some runs. It might be the breathing room they need. However, if they can't, it becomes tricky. They look at second base, but instead Hampson will chuck it to Rhodes. So runners on second and third.
Hit it hard enough, Lana, didn't she? But just straight to the player.
Well, this is interesting here. Haley Benithan, she's got all three of the ribbies in this game. Amber Hood running over at third base for the catcher. Base hit could score two. Couple of Hoods on the base paths now.
Don't tell Scotland Yard, Eric.
Benithan, one of the players returning home from university, going to school. And then the umpire's going to have a quick word with the dugout. Amber Hood.
Lana Kaesler.
Yeah, Lana Kaesler, she got pulled out. She was the runner. I don't know why the change would have been. Does it have to be the last out for the runner for the catcher? I don't think so.
Can't be in the next four, I don't think. So
Next
that's
four
what she
batting.
would have been, yeah. Next 4 batters.
And it can't be in the next 4. Yeah, she would have been the 4th one.
Yeah, that's the rule, I believe.
Benithan over towards second, and it falls. It finds a gap. Benithan's driven in another one. She's driven in another 2. It's Haley Benithan 5, Queensland 2. What an afternoon.
Unbelievable to think she's come from the college system to the under-23s and finished up batting lead-off for them and batted really well. And she's just kept it going here.
Haley Benithan has driven in every single one of South Australia's runs in this game. Every single one of South Australia's runs in this tournament.
Yep.
Ball rides up inside. She's had runners on bases for her to drive in, so huge credit to SA for getting there, but she's now done it twice with 2 outs.
Well, she's obviously batting in the best position for her, if you can get the runners on, obviously.
Do you think she's going to cement her spot in the lineup for the next couple games?
Should be a chance.
Steph Trzynski up to bat.
What she does here will be a bonus here.
2 huge insurance runs. She had 2 RBIs in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, and 1 in the 2nd. Umpire's telling one of the coaches, perhaps, that was sitting behind home plate to go to the side. Is that interesting? Two balls and 1 strike. What was that for, Lee?
I just haven't seen that before, as I can remember, not at this level.
Swing and a miss for Trzynski. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pippa Adkins due up. Knocked into foul territory. Dorinda Stone having a look.
8 safe hits now for SA.
And
it's
again,
a lot of safe hits.
Lee, that middle of the lineup, 4-7.
Yeah.
Only twice. They've now had a combined 16 plate appearances and only 3 times. 13 out of the 16 times.
They've been on base.
Sorry, never mind. 9 out of the 12. That math makes more sense. 9 out of the 12 times those middle 4 have come up to the plate, they've got on base. Belinda White has now expanded outside of that from the 3-hitter, getting on at the start of this inning to score. But a very telling story in this game. Summers delivers the pitch up high. Full count for Trzynski. She's 0 for 2 in the game. You got to wonder, too, Lee, if up in the air, it's hard hit, but right to the left fielder, Rihanna Kempa makes it.
The wind just blew at the wrong time then for Steph, didn't it?
Sure did. Well, I mean, now you go to the bottom of the 6th here. We'll go see who SA trot out there in the circle, but you got to think scoring a couple runs, would that change your decision making? Maybe on if you go to Grauer or if you go to the pen in a 1-run game?
Well, it's the decision you've got to make, isn't it?
They're going with Grauer. I think you keep her going if you bigger lead, right?
Yeah.
Like if it was a 1-run game, do you maybe consider saying, you know what, we got to mix it up and give them a different look?
Have we seen anybody warming up? Have we seen Steph rolling her arm over, or Georgia?
We don't really have a good look at the line from our position down there. I mean, Steph Trzynski's going back out in center field. I think when you saw Trzynski, it would say probably, not today, but Georgia Hood always could be an option.
Yep.
She's rolling back out there, too. Jade Peterson, the other pitcher for South Australia. I have a feeling we'll see, I guess all except Grauer are going to be options in the game tonight.
Yep. Follows this game, doesn't it? 8 o'clock.
It does. At 8 o'clock, they'll have to move on out there fairly hastily. after this game. That'll be another marquee matchup. The prime time game on Diamond 1. Traditional rivals South Australia and Victoria. Rematch of last year's preliminary final that was decided by a razor-thin margin.
Yep.
Victoria Titans, they're 1-1. They beat ACT, but they did fall in the earlier game to WA, but on a bit of controversy, there was a controversial throw out at the plate, and then the very next inning it was a walk-off by virtue of a squeeze.
Yes, it was terrific game actually to be part of. Had everything.
Recamp. Steps in and takes another pitch. Now, SA would be hoping that they can neutralize and not let that top of the Queensland get significant, or to get significantly into it again. This is the number 5 batter right now. A 1-2-3 inning would go a long way in changing the complexion of that 7th inning from a South Australian perspective. Queensland did lead in this game. They had a 2-1 lead in the 3rd inning off the backs of a Jade Wall 2 RBI double. And SA has got 2 back in the 4th and 2 in the 6th, and now are in pole position in this one. Grauer well behind in the count to Recamp. Base runner for Queensland. And now SA will just have a quick word to calm things down as Queensland will make, looks like a couple changes in the field potentially. Is this going to be a pinch hitter?
Taylor Evans, it looks like.
Another one of those players. She was in the under-23s, was she?
Yeah, I remember her. Pretty sure she was in the 23s.
Yeah, she was one of the under-18s. Won two of. She's won the last 2 23s. Trying to complete her transformation now to the senior level.
Winning form's good form, they say, don't they? So let's just see what Taylor's got.
A Queensland side that just certainly feels a bit more balanced compared to other years.
Yep.
That's the word that KJ, their coach, used quite a bit. Just a bit more balance about this team. A bit more preparation. Their grounds weren't all completely underwater like they were in the lead up.
They brought her in to go short.
Well, short, kind of the name of the game. They've scored their 2 runs off of infield singles. I'll just try to keep that strike zone there for Yo Grauer.
It intrigues me when batters obviously not playing a shot at that particular pitch, but they continue to look down at the pitcher after the ball goes past their hitting position.
0-2.
And making their mind up early that it's not to be swung at. That's what it looks like, doesn't it, to us?
Yeah, they haven't had a swing for the last 7 pitches now. One of them has got the leadoff runner aboard in Recamp. Evans right to second. Atkins for 1, and they get 2.
Great play, wasn't it?
Hood, scooped up the ball at second. So Amber Hood to Chelsea Robinson. And then over to Georgia Hood. And it's a double play. Some timely defense from South Australia. Timely hitting, timely defense usually wins you some ball games, and that is what SA's hoping to do.
We've seen a couple of really good double plays today in this game.
Well, if SA can hold on to this game, Lee, it would mean that 4 teams are split at 1 win and 1 loss.
Oh.
Not Yo's best.
No, it was just sitting up there like a big ice cream waiting to be licked.
Road. Jammed a little bit, but it might find that awkward spot. But moving back is Chelsea Robinson. It was a little complicated, but it ends up being a 1-2-3 inning for SA. We've played 6. There's 1 inning to go. And thanks to that Haley Benithan 2 RBI single in the last inning, SA in a very nice position. They're up 5-2 through 6 innings. 2 games coming up at 8 p.m., and then we're done day 1 of the Gilley Shield. Should be a big one. Coming into here, Pippa Adkins will lead things inning in the last chance to dance. We do thank everybody for tuning in from all around the country. We hope you're enjoying every game live and free. Highlight show will be posted a little bit after the last game today. Excellent game we've had on our hands.
We have.
Zolly Summers coming back out there, and Zolly Summers just showing how tough she is to the country. Took a ball to the head in the last inning, and she's stepped right back up. As Adkins up to bat. Adkins came in the game earlier for Harris.
Yep.
You really like the look of what Zolly Summers brings to the table. Called strike. Such an important hold right here for Queensland. Dribbled right back to Summers. This one a lot easier for 1 down. Well, they'll go back to the top of the lineup at Adelaide, making another adjustment. Taylor Chillingworth, another one of those players, part of the, well, Port Adelaide that won the championship, and then the Gilley Shield winning side back in May. She gets her first at-bat of the tournament. And Lee, how important is it just, you have a squad of 16 that you try to get as many players as you can into the tournament on the first day?
Yeah, I'm sure it's really important because they get a feel for it. They've been sitting, waiting, and you leave it to the last game of the first day. It's a long time to wait, Eric, and things build up in your mind. Not so much the physical side of things, but in your mind plays tricks with you saying, oh, it doesn't look like I'm getting in. All of a sudden, your name's called, So you've got to be ready. Not easy, but that's the state of the game, dictates that. But you try to give, first day especially, you try to give as many players as you can, without disrupting your system. You're trying to have.
Remember that game Chillingworth pitched in last year's Gilley Shield?
Yeah.
Off towards third. It takes a awkward hop. What on earth happened there? That was one of the funniest bounces.
And then to make it false, slips over.
1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop. Stone just searching for it. It goes off of Stone's elbow. And then Whitefield diving for it, falls, and then she barehands it. Yeah. That was a good little grab from Tamika Whitefield. Runner on in form of Taylor Chillingworth. So Chelsea Robinson
Looking for an insurance run here.
Off to the right side of the diamond. It'll move Chillingworth to second. It's a good throw in from right field. SA pressing on the base paths again. And Bell White, the Olympian, comes up to bat.
Well, you've said it a few times during this call, Eric, that this is the crux of the runs from here down. So you just can't walk anybody here.
That powerful middle of the lineup of White, Grauer, and Hood.
The line is charged with she's not attempting to bunt the ball. She's just testing them out, see what they do.
Well, the last time these faced each other, that was the ball that went right back up the middle off of Summers' head. Swing and miss. Runner trying to go to third, sliding in there, out!
Got her.
A timely throw. Whitefield gets the glove down. Runner out of scoring position.
Tell you what, that was good play from Matisse, wasn't it? Sorbello spot on the throw.
Pitch up high. So White still batting away as the wind picks up once again. A walk for Bell White. Now that throw out's looking huge because otherwise it would have been bases loaded for South Australia.
Yeah.
But
that's not a bad result for them, for Queensland.
Grauer up to bat. Chillingworth, who was just thrown out, will now go and be the runner at first. Queensland know how important it is to defend these runs. Grauer chops it in the air, diving onto it, and it falls in between the two Queenslanders who are running towards the ball. Gives Grauer another life, and she's already got 2 hits today. Grauer off the nub of the bat, knocks it foul. Grauer from UCLA, the converted Australian. So important to some championship teams here. Takes a pitch down low. Wind again picking up. It is dusty. You just take a look at anything that you had on the surface before is just coated with dust around here. Everything being picked up like crazy. Now she's worked the count full from behind 0-2 to full count for Grauer. She's pitched brilliantly. You figure she's going to go the distance. Grauer goes after one high. It's in foul territory. Rowe charging onto it. She runs right into the wall, and that ball ends up almost with a dog. So Grauer lives on. 7-pitch at bat. That went off foul. It might have got Grauer off the hands.
Looked like it, didn't it? Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's her right hand, too. That's her throwing hand. Uh-oh. That will be something to keep an eye on.
And a couple of swings, practice swings, just see if it's all right. I tell you one thing, she's consistent this turnip bat, coming off of every part of it, the bat.
9-pitch at bat.
Yeah. All Zali has to do here is to throw a strike, I think.
Well, Grauer from way behind to on the base pass. It's a walk to send him loaded. And Queensland are under tremendous amount of pressure now. A gutsy at bat from Yo Grauer. Georgia Hood. Beat on base twice today. Grounded out in her first at-bat, and then at the single, and then a walk. I mean, at Pensacola in the States right now. Flared foul. Used to drive with her sister, Amber, and her mom 5 hours each way on a Saturday, and to come and play club softball here growing up.
From Mount Gambier? Yep.
And it seems like the Stars are just hunting for one pitch right now and looking for one thing to try to bust this game wide open.
Good catching. She's an impressive catcher, isn't she, Matisse?
Yeah, consistent.
Yep.
It's a walk, it's a run.
Just one batting. 3 baseline balls on the row.
Yep. All with 2 outs. It was looking so good for Queensland to get out of the inning. And now I think they might maybe make a change. No one warming up in the bullpen, but maybe just getting a sense of what's going on. Kaesler due up next. She's got a hit today.
And then Beneath on the game.
Here's Kaesler. Takes a pitch up high. SA trying to take advantage here of Zolly Summers, who's just Struggling to find the strike zone at the moment.
Just take some pitches.
3 straight walks. I don't think they're going to be swinging until they know. Another ball, 3-0 count. And Haley Benithan standing on deck already with 5 RBIs today. It's another walk. It's another run. 4 straight walks that South Australia has taken. And it's now 7-2. And Haley Benithan, who's got 5 runs batted in today. Boy, this game started off real tight, didn't it? Back and forth. And it wasn't until the 6th inning when it was 2 runs from Haley Benithan that put SA up 5-2. And now 4 straight walks have loaded the bases and brought them around. Benithan hasn't got out today. She reached on the error in the first, but driven a run while she did it. And then 2 singles to right field. Looking for RBI number 6, and another ball has been thrown. And Matisse Sorbello will head out to the circle. Just try to settle down Zolly Summers, try to keep things loose. Must have told her a choke or something, because Summers lit up pretty quickly with a smile.
Yeah, well, that's a good sign.
Sun's starting to become a factor down that right field line too, and you're a batter. Well, Benithan could potentially get her 6th RBI by not swinging the bat.
Yeah, and that'll make 5 base on balls in a row. Unbelievable, isn't it, really?
There's a strike, a much needed one for the Heat.
And another.
Full count, bases loaded. Benithan already with 5 ribbies today. SA now with a commanding lead. Looking for more, Benithan just stays alive. That was the big moment in the 6th with 2 outs. Benithan single. Put Adelaide up 5-2. In the 4th, she did it when South Australia was down 2-1 to put SA up 3-2. Benithan fouled back. All of a sudden, it's an 8-pitch at-bat again. Lengthy at-bats. And Lee, look, the foul ball's coming right next to you. Good looking swing from Benithan. 9-pitch at-bat. And it hit her. And Benithan's gonna get a tough RBI, but that looks like it stung. The hit by pitch. It's 4 walks and a hit by pitch in a row on the trot here for Queensland, and now it is in dire situation, 8-2, and I think that's probably going to be in the end of the day. Benithan smiling again though, so looking okay. Sophie Roberts going to come in for a pinch hit. And I think that's the end of the day for Zolly Summers. There was some movement in the pen down the left field line earlier. And Summers will come out of the game. South Australia up 8-2.
Emily coming back.
And Emily Solomon coming back into the game. She started this game When she did leave, it was a 3-2 game. She pitched the first 5 innings of this game. Let's look at the ACT team that will come on, and they'll play this Queensland side in about half-hour time. SA will head over to play the Vic Titans. This will be the 9th batter in the inning for South Australia.
That's a lot this late in the game, isn't it?
Who have blown the score out here. They're going to have a pinch hit as well. Sophie Roberts going to get a turn at bat. And I think it's only Neve Adams maybe that needs to get into the game for South, and Jade Peterson.
Yep. And Sarah Tonkin.
She played the first game.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't.
Just for the tournament, I mean. Yeah,
yeah,
for the tournament.
Yep.
Well, Sophie Roberts will walk up to bat. Another immensely talented dual sport athlete. Cricket the other game. She's made a name for herself in the softball circle. She's won a couple premierships with the Walkerville Cats. First pitch strike from Emily Sullivan. Did she go? Nope, saying she didn't. Lee, you think she went?
I did.
Straight up in the air, but back foul. Trying to take out her future opponents in the ACT. Did Roberts get a piece of it? I think she did.
Yep.
Well, I think both the games now, I mean, it'll be half hour between games. I think that's the minimum that teams need.
Yep.
So whatever time this game ends, probably around that 7:45 mark, as a big shot to center field. Moving back as Jade Wall makes the play.
Gee, that's a good piece of the ball, isn't it? Coming cold like that.
Inning comes to an end. South Australia score 3 runs, 4 walks and a hit by pitch, the crux of that inning, and SA are 3 outs away from sitting with their first win of the tournament and becoming a part of a stack of teams sitting with 1 win and 1 loss here as we reach the late portions of day number 1. Yo Grau are going to be out there to finish the game for SA.
No surprise, really.
Yeah, it'll open up. It'll probably be a combination of all 3 pitchers probably available in terms of Georgia Hood, Jade Peterson, and Steph Trzynski for SA. Wouldn't they be in the nightcap
Next
tonight?
round, yep.
Matisse Sorbetto will lead things off, followed by Soraya Hampson, and then they get back to the top of the lineup. Queensland's only hope, really, if they get one of these first 2 runners on and then get a string of runners together from that top of the lineup, which has been productive today. Remember, Queensland, in the 3rd inning, Jade Wall sent a double down the line that scored a pair of runs to put them up 2-1 at the time. In the 4th inning, SA responded. They put up 3-2. They added another one in the 6th to make it 6-2, or 5-2 rather, and then just scored 3 in the 7th. Pretty consistent base runners for SA throughout the game.
Yeah, certainly has been. It's Jessica Rode. Jessica Rhodey.
I thought Rhodey was the last out of the last inning.
During the stone was.
What do I know? Playing first base and catching in this tournament, Jess Roach. She just played in the under-23 nationals for Queensland as well. It's going to be a cold one tonight, Lee.
Especially on this dome, Eric.
In the dirt again, so Belle White going out to have a quick word with her pitcher. It's amazing the wind seems to just keep
persevering.
Yeah. A walk. So, not dead yet, Queensland. They need a heck of a rally, but that's how you start one.
Only the third base on balls.
Maddie McLeod gonna come in for a hit. Yo Grauer still keeping it nice, light, and easy.
Good player, isn't she? Johanna, we saw that in May in the Gilley's final. Not only that, brought in 3 runs when she was batting. Says something about a pitcher that can do that at this level. Tells me she can play.
Yeah, Grauer just kind of like Zolly Summers in that last part of the inning. Now Grauer fighting the strike zone a little bit too. Ball in the dirt, so it's a 2-out count.
Free swing here. She'll come back with a strike. Swing the bat. No, she didn't. The wind, I think the wind's affecting her. What do you think? It's got stronger.
Yeah, it might be, and it probably affected Summers as well, and now Grauer
And it's sort of swirling around this way more.
finally gets a strike over the plate. Maddie McLeod was on the team last year. He's been on under 23 teams, under 18 teams, another part of that young Queensland core. Up the middle. Could be 2. They're just going to tag out 1. They get 2. The second double play of the day. And this time it was Amber Hood applying the tag, tossing it to her sister Georgia. And Queensland, all of a sudden, they were looking threatening for a brief moment, are now down to their final strike, or final out, rather. Soraya Hampson.
Good player at that position, Amber Hood, isn't she? Since she moved in from right field, she made some really good plays.
She was at right field, you're right, and then they moved her into the game after Adkins entered for Jordan Harris.
Yep.
Swing and a miss. Both these teams have to turn around very quickly for their next games. It'll be half hour, maybe slightly less between games. It'll be pretty vicious pace between them. Strike, and that will end the game. Yo Grauer goes the distance, allows just 2 runs. Some nice plays from the South Australian defense. 6 RBIs from Haley Benaith, and relentless pressure all day from SA in the win.
Yeah, it was. It was terrific team performance, wasn't it, by the South Australian Stars?
That is where things will wrap up, and we'll have to love you and leave you. Eric Ballnar and Lee Hull. Stay tuned. Half an hour, 2 more games coming up of softball action at the 2023 Gilley Shield.